All right, and I'm back. Hopefully everything got fixed now because apparently I had a major mess up. Big time. I'll explain it. Welcome. I'm going to break down the Falcon the Winter Soldier episode 2 to 4 because it sucks, and I'm going to explain why it sucks. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
All right, so I'm going to have to go through most of this pretty quickly because, again, I kind of fucked up, and I kind of fucked up big time. The reason that I fucked up, I did this whole stream, like this whole episode, without any audio. And so I was already half an hour in, and I did without any audio. So that was kind of frustrating, and I'm kind of frustrated. And so I already did this one, so I'm going to have to power through. Very quickly, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram at Super Dario World. Also streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. All this week, I'm going to be streaming at 2 p.m. I'm trying something different. Apparently, social life and things going back to normal. Most people want to hang out at night, so doing the stream at 8 p.m. kind of difficult. So all this week, I'm going to try 2 p.m. Also for other reasons, but again, I'm not going to explain it now because I already kind of fucked up, and I got to go back and do this very quickly because also I got to back to work, get back to work in a little bit. But anyway, we'll test it out. We'll see how it goes. This thing's really bright, isn't it? Oh well, whatever. Nothing I can do about it now. Anyway, so let's talk about the Falcon the Winter Soldier and why it sucks. And so, in order to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, well, first, this episode 4 is the one that's really convinced me that I need to talk about it because I said I'm not gonna really break it down unless I feel like there's something that's really worth breaking down. Episode 4 was extremely terrible. And so I'm at the point where it's like, all right, okay, I need to explain why. In order for you to understand episode 4, I'm going to give you a quick summary of what happened in episodes 2 and 3. So here we go. Again, I already did this once, so I'm going to try to do it quickly. Let's go through a quick summary of things that really don't make much sense, but episodes 2 and 3. Here we go. So let me see. The episode... Let me see if this works. Yeah, all right, so... We're introduced to the character of... Well, this is a fuck up. There you go. Come on. There you go. All right, so we're introduced to the character of John Walker, who's the new Captain America. And for all accounts and purposes, dude was a capable soldier. He's won several Medal of Honors, and he was worthy of it. One of the candidates worthy of the shield, right? And we are introduced to his sidekick here, Battlestar. He's a little bit torn, but they introduce him as kind of a nice dude. They also introduce him, to the press and all that stuff, and they're going through the whole publicity stuff of Captain America back to similar to the way that we're using Steve Rogers in the original Captain America film. Propaganda and stuff. Next, Bucky's upset that there's a new Captain America because the Falcon gave up the shield, and so he goes over there to complain and ends up joining the Falcon on one of his missions. The mission is to try to stop the Flag Smashers. The Flag Smashers is a terrorist organization, and we discover who their leader is. It's this girl named Carly. We also discover that this girl named Carly is a super soldier, and we also discover that her helpers are also super soldiers, so they all have super strength, basically. She sucks as a villain, or at least as a leader of a terrorist organization, but I'll get to her probably when I break down episode 4. Then, anyway... They get in a fight with all these super soldiers and they get their asses kicked. And so Captain America shows up, the new Captain America, and he also gets his ass kicked. So basically everybody gets their ass kicked. They got 3 elite soldiers, Battlestar, Captain America, and the Falcon. And they also have a super soldier with a vibranium arm. They all get their asses kicked because in this show, the main characters always get their asses kicked. They just don't win, ever. I mean... I guess you could argue that the one time that they've actually won was when Falcon beat the guy in the beginning of the show, like the opening sequence, on the plane. But still, he got his ass kicked by a no-named character, lackey. So, is that really a victory? Anyway, let's continue. So Captain America offers them a deal and is like, hey, how about if you guys join me? And then the world will be like, hey, Captain America's old homies are now with the new Captain America, so that means they approve. And so Bucky tells him to go fuck himself. And Captain America's like, all right, well, that was rude. Next, we see how the Flag Smashers operation works. And it's basically they're a bunch of refugees and they're hackers. And the local population helps them out for reasons. The Winter Soldier also tells the Falcon about a dude named Isaiah. Apparently, Isaiah also took the super soldier serum back when he was younger. And because it worked on him, he got arrested, and they did a whole bunch of experiments on him. We'd never heard of this guy before. Nobody had ever heard of this guy before. Not even Steve Rogers had heard of this guy before, but the Winter Soldier had, so okay. Next, Falcon's upset with this new information, and so they get in an argument in the street, and Bucky gets arrested because there's an outstanding warrant for him because he missed his court-mandated therapy. And so Captain America helps him get out of jail because he's like, hey, you know what? This dude is kind of a useful asset, so having him in jail is stupid, and having him have to go to court-mandated therapy is stupid. So naturally, the therapist demands that there should be a therapy session between the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Why? I don't know, but okay. I mean, there's a terrorist organization running around, killing, a terrorist organization with super soldiers running around, but all right, fine. It's time for a quick therapy session, I guess. This leads to Captain America once again offering like, hey dudes, let's team up together, and Falcon basically saying, no dude, you have to follow certain rules, we don't have to follow those rules, so it's better if you do things your way and we do things our way. And Captain America's all right, but get the fuck out of my way. So that's where he takes a turn, like he turns on a dime. At first he seemed like the really nice cool dude. Here he takes a turn and it comes out of nowhere, and they really don't explain it. It's just on a dime. He's an asshole. All right, fine. I mean, if I got rejected so many times, I'd probably be like a bit prickly too, but whatever. Next, we get to see the Flag Smashers stealing a whole bunch of stuff on an airplane, and one of them gets killed. One of the super soldiers gets killed in the dumbest way possible. I'm not really getting into it. And this dude, who I assume he's some kind of an agent, fails to capture them, and he makes a call, and we don't really know for who it is. But I think he's going to be a character later, maybe. I don't know. Next, Falcon the Winter Soldier are like, hey, dude, what are our leads? What can we do here? We have no money. We have no leads. We have no nothing. How are we going to proceed? And Winter Soldier's like, well, who do we know who knows the most about super soldiers than anybody else? And they're like, well, Baron Zemo. Now, for those of you who don't remember who Baron Zemo is the villain in Captain America Civil War. Now, I know it's very confusing for people because some people think that the villain was Winter Soldier. No, some people think the villain was Captain America or Iron Man. No, the actual villain of that movie was Baron Zemo, and he got arrested, and he's in Germany in jail. Anyway, and so Baron Zemo and Falcon's like, you're a freaking idiot. He hates super soldiers. And Winter Soldier, who is a super soldier, is like, yeah, so he'd be the perfect one to know if there's anybody else who'd been working on that formula, right? So I guess, all right, sure, logic. And they decide to go out and talk to Baron Zemo in Germany. And we also learn about something called the Global Repatriation Council. Now, the Global Repatriation Council is apparently the organization that's in charge of the global organization that's in charge of bringing things back to normal in the world after half of the population showed up again. If you guys remember, after the snapping, where half of the human population disappeared, a whole bunch of people came back, and so they have to find something to do with them. They have to find somewhere that they're going to put them. They have to find somewhere to feed them. They have to find a whole bunch of stuff in a way to bring things back to normal. So that's something that that's basically the organization that's in charge of putting all that stuff together. Next, we see Captain America trying to desperately try to get a little bit more intel from the locals. The locals aren't really helping him out because they're like, you're not the real Captain America. We're actually not really. They just don't like America in general. Next, we have Baron Zemo, who's meeting with Bucky, or AKA the Winter Soldier. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have a super soldier meeting a dude who hates super soldiers more than anybody else to ask him for information about super soldiers. You would think that you would send the human guy, but whatever. All right, fine. Bucky goes there, and basically Bucky facilitates Baron Zemo's escape. And by facilitates Baron Zemo's escape, I mean basically he gives him the thing that he needs and everything he needs to break out. Anyway, whatever. Point is, the Falcon's not really a fan of this because, like, you broke him out of jail. And the Winter Soldier's like, yeah, well, we need him. And so from that point on, they basically follow Zemo around. So they get on Zemo's plane, and Zemo's like, all right, I think I have a lead, so let's go check it out. So they go, as they're checking out that lead, we see, again, Carly here, the leader of the Flag Smashers, who's very sad because her friend Donna is dying. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, or it's relevant until the next episode, I think. And then we get to see our heroes go to the city of Mandracore? Anyway, whatever. Apparently, it used to be a pirate city, a pirate port, and now it's like a criminal city. All right, so cool. And here, apparently, all the criminals know each other. Like, everybody recognizes the Winter Soldier. Everybody, even though, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but in his Hydra days, he wore like a mask, and also they didn't use him that much. And also, I'm pretty sure he didn't go to any bars. But whatever, the people at this bar seem to recognize him, and they recognize Baron Zemo, and they recognize and they confuse the Falcon with somebody else. So all right, with another criminal. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Bucky has to pretend that he's still like he went back to being the super soldier machine killer that he was for reasons. Anyway, they meet with an agent of somebody called the Power Broker, and the Power Broker basically, how can I explain? But anyway, a powerful mob boss in the city of Manticore who kind of runs it apparently. So anyway, this agent gives him the information that there's a scientist that created the super soldier serum, and while in the middle of this exchange, she discovers that they're actually not who they say they are, and so she gets killed by somebody who snipes her through the window. Okay, now since an agent of the Power Broker got killed, a bounty gets put on the head of the dudes who were in the room with the agent when the agent died. So they're on the run in the city of Manticore with a bounty on their heads, and they get rescued by one Agent 13. Now, for those of you who don't remember who Agent 13 is, Agent 13 is the code name for Sharon Carter. For those of you who don't remember who Sharon Carter is, she is the niece of one Peggy Carter. For those of you who don't remember who Peggy Carter is Captain America's love interest in basically all the Captain America movies, you know, even from the very first one back in the British agent from World War II. Anyway, Sharon Carter is her niece, and she appears in all the Captain America movies, I think, except the first one. And she is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she was tasked with basically keeping an eye out on Captain America. And when Hydra took over S.H.I.E.L.D., she helped Captain America escape, and so she's had Captain's back throughout this whole time. And here's where we learn that apparently Captain America did not have her back, because when everybody else was getting pardoned left and right, you know, after the snapping and everything, when Bucky came back, you know, the killing machine and all that stuff, he got a pardon, but apparently she didn't. So either Captain America completely forgot of one of her most valuable allies, quasi in a way could have been love interest, and he forgot about her and not everybody else, or the writers completely forgot about her, or they decided that it would be convenient that she didn't get a pardon. Anyway, the point is, she didn't get a pardon, so she's been on the run for a really long time, and that's why she ended up in the city of criminals there in Manticore, and apparently she's been doing very well for herself. And so the dudes are like, hey, would you help us out? We're kind of looking for somebody. And so here they do a little bit of retconning. For those of you who don't know what retconning is it basically means when the writers try to pretend that something didn't happen, or they want to pretend that something happened. Basically, they're altering the story that the audience knows is already true, or they're trying to change the backstory or stuff like that. Here, what they're trying to change in this particular scene is they're pretending like Sharon Carter and the Winter Soldier are actually old buddies, like they're chummy. In the way that she talks to them, like, oh, I never imagined like you, the Star Spangled Believer and stuff like that. Like you would actually not believe that stuff, or you wouldn't go along with it. And so it's weird to see, because we know who she is. We've seen her, we've seen the movies. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but in in Captain America the Winter Soldier, she and the Winter Soldier never interact. Why? Because the Winter Soldier is the bad guy, and he's kind of not really talking. He's kind of like, fucked up. The only one he actually semi-talks to is Captain America, and still not even that much. They talk with their fists. Then again, in Civil War, Winter Soldier is on the run big time, because they think that he killed the king of Wakanda, and so he's got Black Panther on his ass. And so again, I don't remember them really having a conversation, and from that point on, Winter Soldier is basically hanging out in Wakanda. So when they became buddies, who the fuck knows? But apparently they want to make us believe that they were buddies. They want to also make us believe that Sharon and the Falcon were buddies too, but I don't really remember them interacting that much either. Anyway, doesn't matter. So the Falcon then offers her a deal, like, Sharon, help us out here and we'll give you a pardon, which is kind of a spit in the face, because she just saved their life, and I guess that wasn't enough for them to help her get a pardon. Also, she helped them out in the past. She helped Captain America in the past. They kind of just forgot about her, even though that she's been helping their asses for this entire time. And then he's like, all right, help us out one more time, potentially break the law again, and we'll get you a pardon. Go fuck yourself, dude. She already earned her pardon, but whatever. Let's move on. Next, we get a really funny dancing with Baron Zemo at a party. Now, again, these dudes, bounties on their heads. Bounties on their heads from a criminal mob boss in this city, and it's a criminal city. and they go to a party. It's really weird, and it makes no sense. I mean, I enjoy the dance scene and it's funny, but weird. Also, this party is happening in a hall in a room that has priceless original paintings. And there's a bunch of people drinking and kind of like getting close to touching the stuff, and there's no protection on the paintings at all, like not even plexiglass or something. It's really weird, and it makes no fucking sense, but whatever. Moving on. Okay, so then Sharon discovers where the scientist is, and she takes him to this to the shipyard where there's a whole bunch of containers, and they start exploring stuff. Now, I need you to understand, and she's like, all right, we got to hurry up because again, there's a bounty on you guys' head, and they're gonna find you eventually. Now, I need you to follow with me. They're going to a shipyard where they could very easily hide and be hidden. They have to hurry because they might be found. They were just in a party filled with people and really no rush or worry that they would be found. That's the logic here. Anyway, let's continue. So they discover that the scientist dude, and they start having a conversation. And well, they discover a secret lab, and they start having a conversation with the scientist dude. In the meantime, Agent 13 is outside kicking the ass of a whole bunch of goons. They started coming in and checking things out. Now, this is very important. Inside the lab, you got the Winter Soldier, who's a super soldier with a Bavarian arm. You got the Falcon, who's an elite soldier, and you got Baron Zemo. Outside, you got Agent 13. Now, as soon as you hear that there's a bunch of people coming in and they're attacking your perimeter and stuff like that, you would think one of those three dudes would go out and help, right? You think that the super soldier would be useful out there. You think that the elite soldier would be useful out there. But no, Sharon could go fuck herself, apparently. And if she dies, she dies. Then we don't have to get her a pardon. Fuck that. Anyway, moving on. So, fuck her, I guess. Yeah, moving on. So in this lab, the scientist dude basically breaks down the things that are going down, and I think I'm back on par where I kind of left off last time. So I managed to do it a little bit quicker. So cool. This is where I discovered that I didn't have any audio last time. Anyway, moving on. This guy basically tells him, yeah, I was working on the super soldier serum, and then I vanished, because of the snapping, and then I came back, and they were like, we don't need that anymore, so go fuck yourself. So apparently, this dude was very close to breaking the formula. And just because he disappeared, they stopped working on it. And when he came back, they're like, you know what? Fuck that shit. We don't need it. Who wants the super soldier serum? The thing that we've been talking about for like 50 years, 60 or 70. I don't know. All the way back to Captain America. Actually, even before that. Fuck it. Doesn't even matter. And so this guy's like, well, my job is not worth it. We're not worth it anymore. And so he went to Manticore to work for the power broker who was like, super soldier serum? That's great. Work for me. And so he started making the formula for this guy, and apparently it's better for reasons. They explain it, but it really doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. His formula is supposedly better, and he made 20 vials, and those 20 vials were stolen by Carly. Now, how the fuck did Carly steal them? It's not really clear. How she knew about it? Why? It's not really clear. Why the hell was there no better security there? Why the hell was no better security there now? There's a whole bunch of questions here that need to be answered. Doesn't really happen. It's just like, okay. Then here's the even weirder part. A few days later or weeks, I don't know, Carly calls the scientist dude back and is like, hey, my friend Donna is dying. Can you help her out? And this dude's like, bitch, you just stole super soldier serum from me. Are you fucking crazy? You stole it from the power broker and from me, and the power broker's pissed. Go fuck yourself. Also, there's nothing I can do about your friend, but still, go fuck yourself. Anyway, so they the balls. Can you imagine robbing somebody and then asking for help? Jesus Christ. Anyway, so this guy basically is like, yeah, I did it. I only did 20 vials, and so I'm the only one who can do it. And so naturally, Baron Zemo kills him. Because, and then everybody's like, why'd you kill him? Like, I know you're a guy who hates super soldiers, and I know this guy said he's the only one who can make the super soldier serum, but Jesus Christ, why you kill him? Like, what did you expect? Like, you invite the guy who hates super soldiers more than everybody else in the world, you put him in the same room as the only guy who can create the fucking super soldier serum, and then he kills him, and you're, oh no, I can't believe he did that. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, so the lab where they are explode, and for some reason they're fine, and Baron Zemo escapes and separates from the rest of the crew, and they're in the middle of a gunfight. What the hell is it not working? All right, then they're in the middle of a gunfight where, they're shooting at people and so they're hitting people and stuff like that. And here we see that Falcon the Winter Soldier are not really on the same page, whatever. The point is they're pinned down, and as they're pinned down, Baron Zemo comes back and basically saves their asses from being pinned down, and they keep running. And Winter Soldier basically throws a metal tube and impales a guy. And I know this will be important later. Anyway, and so Baron Zemo shows up with the car and is like, let's get the fuck out of here. And Agent 13's like, deuces, dudes, I got other stuff to do here. I'll maybe help you out or not. Give me my fucking pardon. And here we discover that actually she has certain agents. It's not clear exactly what's going on with her. Is she a good person? Is she bad? Is she tainted or whatever? It's not clear. It's also not clear who the hell killed the agent of the power broker. I mean, you could argue that it was her. You could argue it was one of her agents. We don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Point is, she's a player now. Moving on. We get to see that with the Flag Smashers basically took over a CP, whatever the organization thing that I named at the beginning of the show. They attacked one of the facilities and stole their food. They imprisoned a whole bunch of the soldiers and then proceeded to blow the place up. So they've escalated to killing people. That's the point here. That's the only important thing that actually matters. And our main characters, they decided to go to Turkey because Baron Zemo was like, hey, you know what? I think for reasons we should go to Turkey because I know things there. And, well, also because the girl, Danya, whatever, the girl who they asked for medical help with, he was like, all right, I think it would make sense to go there because reasons. Basically because Carly mentioned the name Donna or Danya to the scientist, and the scientist mentioned the name Danya to our heroes. That's the reason why they went there. I know. But whatever. They needed a reason to go there. Anyway, while they're walking around Turkey, the Winter Soldier notices something on the ground. He's like, hey, you know what, guys? I'll be back in a minute. And he goes, follows a few clues, and he ends up face-to-face with an agent of Wakanda. There's a name for this guard. Honestly, I forget it. Sorry. But anyway, the elite soldiers. He ends up face-to-face with one of the elite soldiers of Wakanda. So there you go. That's episode 2 and 3. Let's go on to episode 4. And this one, like I said, I'm not gonna go do any extra effort than I really have for this one. So I'm just gonna actually put on the show on here, and I'm just gonna skip it. I'm just gonna skip around here, moving around, and hopefully that's enough for you guys. It's enough for me. So the episode begins with a flashback of Bucky and this chick, basically this chick helping Bucky get through his demons. And all right, fine, fair enough. And so then they start having a conversation in modern day Turkey, and basically Winter Soldier is like, hey, you know what? How about if you don't kill Baron Zemo? I want to kill Baron Zemo because Baron Zemo killed the King of Wakanda. However, we need him right now, and so after we don't need him, then you can kill him. And she's like, fine, we'll give you 8 hours. Now, there's something interesting here that you guys may or may not remember. Baron Zemo, at the end of Civil War, was going to kill himself. And the person who stopped him from killing himself was one Black Panther, one King T'Challa, you know, the King of Wakanda, and so you would think that he'd be like, no, he deserves to be back in jail because this is what heroes do. But no, apparently now it wasn't enough that he was like, you know what, I pardon you once, go fuck yourself. Now I'm going to send my agents to kill you because of, I don't know, reasons. The point is, the agents of Wakanda were like, you have 8 hours, move on. And so Bucky goes back to Baron Zemo and to Baron Zemo's apartment, and he basically tells them the Wakandans are here and they gave us 8 hours. And they're like, oh, well, fuck, what are we gonna do? He's like, all right, well, we gotta finish this in 8 hours. So they decide to have a bizarre conversation about supremacists. And I'm not gonna say bizarre conversation, actually a pretty interesting conversation, which is a wasted opportunity on this show. So there's actually a lot of wasted opportunities on this show. I'll get to other ones later on. But here, Baron Zemo was basically trying to explain the ideology of supremacists and why, if they think super soldiers think that they're better than other humans or whatever, because technically they are superior. They are super soldiers. They're not just soldiers, they're super soldiers, but whatever. And they just completely let that go in that topic, at least in this episode. Maybe later on they'll hit it a little bit more, but it bugs me because this is kind of the premise of what Civil War should have been. Civil War should have been about the debate of what do you do with superhumans? Like, what happens when you have super beings in the world? Do laws change? Like, supposedly we're all created equal, right? But not anymore. Some people were created super. So what happens? Do the same laws apply? Do you have to create new laws? What happens? Are they above the law? Are they, like, clearly Thor, the god of thunder, is kind of better than me. And so, does he have to follow the same laws? Do you have to follow the same regulations? How does that work? Do the puny humans have the right or the power to control the mighty, the super, even though they could destroy us whenever they want? So that's an interesting debate that was never really touched on in Civil War, and that's a really interesting debate that's not really touched down here that much. Anyway, so again, wasted opportunity. Whatever. Moving on. They decide on a plan and they decide what they're gonna go check out and whatever. In the meantime, the group of the Flag Smashers is upset because Danya died, and they're talking about dumb stuff that really doesn't matter. Zemo and the crew, they go to check out and try to get information on this Danya lady and to see if they can figure out her funeral, where it is, and because they're assuming the Flag Smashers are going to show up at this funeral. And so they move around, and apparently everybody's scared of them because they're outsiders, which is, and here we learn kind of one of the issues that's happening in this particular world. The Falcon meets a teacher, and this teacher's like, you don't understand what happened here, okay? So when everybody vanished, because the Flag Smashers want to make things go back to the way they were after the snapping, and when it was only half the population. So here's the thing: you're not gonna get a lot of support from people when you say we want half of the population to disappear again. That's just not gonna work. But whatever. Anyway, this teacher's explaining like, listen, you don't get it. When half the population disappeared, we all came together. We all started helping each other. People from rural places, we had to go back to the big cities and help out. And these are all interesting things. These are all interesting topics that have not been touched, not just in this show, in the MCU in general. Think about it. And I've already complained about this. What happens when half of the population disappears for 5 years and then comes back? What happens to their property? What happens to their bank accounts? What happens to their savings? Usually when somebody dies, you just pass it along to somebody else. Do they have to give them back? What happens to their apartment? If there's an empty apartment, are you not going to... They have a contract, but usually lease lasts for a year. You were gone for 5. You have mortgage payments. You have car payments. What happens if you don't pay them because you disappeared? There's a whole bunch of really interesting things that happen. Like, well, all of a sudden they came back. Well, do I have to keep making my car payments? My car's not even here. Somebody resold it. Somebody stole it, or somebody beat it up. Does my insurance cover it? Even though I haven't really paid my insurance for 5 years. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that has not been approached on this show, and they could have. And here they kind of, listen, I don't like it when writers forget that they're living within the context of a world and they want to project stuff from our world in it. I get it. If you want to touch similar topics from our world to their world, it makes sense, but keep it between the boundaries of the world. Keep it in the way that it's still going to be logical within their world. So they're basically, what they're trying to say here, or what this teacher's trying to say, is like, hey, people from the country came to the cities because, think about this. Actually, I need some water, so give me a sec. I'm dying. That killed me. Having to rush through the whole thing killed me. Anyway, so basically, like saying, well, all right, imagine like this. Cities have a certain amount of supplies. We have a supply chain. So if you have 6 billion people in the world, you have to make, well, let's say you have a city of 1 million people, you have to produce food for 1 million people. If you lose half of those, the ground's still going to be the same. There's still, I don't know what happens to the cows. I don't know what happens to the plants. The point is, you have to reset all that stuff up, or you have to bring the people who are outside in so they can keep helping you out. So you have water supply for 1 million people. All of a sudden, half of them disappears. Does that mean that everybody's bills double? What does that mean for the electricity? What happens to all that power grid? All that stuff. Cities are set up for a certain amount of people, and if half of the population leaves or disappears, it's bad. So they had to bring people from outside, and they started helping each other out. And what they're claiming here is that once Endgame happened and everybody came back, so everybody was like, you know what, just go fuck yourself. Everybody that we brought in for 5 years, go fuck yourself. You're done. We don't need you. And they were sent to refugee camps. Excuse me, but I don't think that's how that works. And this is an allusion to the Cuban to the current refugee the current crisis at the border and refugee crisis that's going on in Europe and stuff like that. And they're trying to say like that's how we treat refugees and stuff like that. I keep it between the boundaries of the world. I cannot believe a situation in which somebody has been working on something for 5 years and then somebody shows up out of nowhere and they just get screwed over. That doesn't happen. Why? Because the people who are here now are the ones who are in power. They had five years to set themselves up. They had 5 years to set themselves up. So the ones that would actually be the real refugees would be the ones that came back. It's not like all of a sudden. It's like what is it? Possession is 9/10 of the law. So let's say I have my apartment and I disappear for 5 years, and all of a sudden I magically come back, and somebody else rented out the apartment. This apartment is now not mine anymore. It's theirs. As much as I want to be like, but I didn't do anything wrong. You're fucked because the other person was here already. Because I'm the one who changed. And so that's how that. So this whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if it were kind of like, well, we want to help all the people that came back because it's messed up and they're refugees and stuff like that. Okay, I could understand a little bit better. But screwing over the ones that are here, the ones that the ones that control everything makes no sense to me, and it's ridiculous. But they're just trying to, they're trying to push their own stupid messages, and they're trying to force something down your throat that doesn't make any sense for this particular world. Keep things. It's okay if you want to transmit a particular message that you're passionate about, writers, but keep it between in the boundaries of the world in a way that makes sense. Otherwise, it's just annoying. Moving on. What happens? So Baron Zemo basically offers candy to a whole bunch of kids, and he gets intel from one of the kids, and he tells the kids, hey, you know what? These dudes, they're scared. These scary dudes, ignore them. They're evil. So only give the intel to me. So he discovers when the funeral is going to be. Next, as they're chilling and they're trying to set up when their plan's going to be. Let me see if this is when this happens. Let me see, because there's a whole bunch of nothing that's going on. Okay. He gets a call. Falcon gets a call from Agent Carter, and they try to set up something that they could do for her to help them out via satellite. It's stupid. Doesn't really matter. I guess they just wanted to show her on the show again or whatever. Here we have a very bizarre conversation between Carly and one of her lieutenants. First off, we discovered that she has all the serums there. Let me see if I can count them real quick. So there's the serums, and god damn it, I missed it again. There's the serums. Damn it. Let's see if I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay, so I think she's got 7 left, which means that she's used 13 out of the 20. Anyway, they have this really weird conversation that ends up turning into Captain America and why they have to destroy the shield. None of this conversation makes any fucking sense. Like, at one point, this dude, the lieutenant, says, like, yeah, my grandpa used to say that if you're not sure about doing something, that means that you're doing the right thing. That's the exact opposite of logic. if you're not sure of what you're doing is right, that's the exact opposite of, listening to your gut feelings or whatever. That makes no fucking sense. I'm pretty sure that every bad guy ever has probably said that, like, oh yeah, no, listen to me. I'm doing it. If you're not sure what you're doing, you still listen to me because I'm right here, and you're totally not doing anything evil. What the fuck was that? Anyway, okay, so let me talk to you about Carly a little bit. I don't understand why Carly's the leader. I do not. For some reason, and everybody keeps following her. There's a bunch of super soldiers and her. I don't know why she's the leader. She's not charismatic. She's not strong. She's not decisive. She's annoying. Like, honestly, I don't see it. She doesn't really have a master plan. So she's not an evil genius. She's not really super loving or kind-hearted or whatever. She's not decisive. There's no leadership qualities in this woman whatsoever. There's absolutely no reason why I would follow her ever, especially if I have a fucking super soldier serum. Are you kidding me? Like, there's no reason. Also, her plan is beyond stupid. Let me explain why it's beyond stupid. So far, basically, she claims that what she wants to do is restore things to the way that they were pre-snapping, and also she just wants to feed the children. She wants to feed the children because they're starving in the refugee camps. Anyway, I don't know if you noticed this already, but we saw her traveling around and supplies on a plane. You know what you can do? You can sell the plane. And you know what you can do with that money? Buy a buttload of supplies. Anyway, you know what also does she have? She has in her hands right now the only existing vials of super soldier serum. Let me say that again. She has the only vials in existence of super soldier serum. You know what those things are worth? You know how much money people will pay for that shit? A buttload. You know how much the government of the United States would pay for that fucking serum? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? And you wouldn't sell it? One? Even one? It would be enough to pay for your entire fucking refugee camp. And she's not doing it. Why? Because she's a fucking moron. And she's a terrible leader. And she's a terrible negotiator. So why is anybody following her? I have no fucking idea. She's not even that hot. I could understand a whole bunch of dudes being like, well, but she's hot. I gotta follow her. You a whole bunch of simps. But still, are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, the point is she's a terrible villain and a terrible leader. And she sucks and I hate her. Anyway, moving on. She's also not even that badass of a fighter. Moving on, because this was a whole bunch of bit by Captain America and Battlestar. Now, here's something very interesting. This is the biggest flaw of the show. Forget about the crappy villain. Forget about the wasted opportunities. Forget about the retconning. I've said this before. Falcon and the Winter Soldier are not good enough to carry their own show. They're B characters. They're bench warmers. You know how I can prove it? First off, I already said this argument. I'll say it again. The fact that they have to share their own show kind of proves it. All right, it's not the Winter Soldier show. It's not the Falcon show. It's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So they have to co-headline. Second, ever since Zemo comes into secondly, they've gotten their asses kicked by absolutely everybody in this show. Like seriously, it's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier get their asses kicked show. Third, as soon as Zemo comes into the story, they've been following him around like puppy dogs. You want a perfect example of this? Look at them walk right now. All right? Zemo is the leader of this particular crew. Zemo is actually useful. Now, I don't understand why Zemo has them around. I want you to think about this. All right. You're Baron Zemo. You're kind of wanted by the law, and you hate super soldiers. And so you're being tailed around by the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, they don't have a tracker on you. They don't have handcuffs on you. They don't even have like a bomb on you or something. There's no reason why you can't escape. The dude could have escaped several times. The dude could have, they've been traveling on his plane with his people, with his supplies. He could have poisoned, they've been drinking his water, his champagne, his tea. They've been eating his food. He could have poisoned them a billion times already. Why he hasn't done that, it makes no sense. I hope there's a big payoff for this somewhere. Like, oh, he had a big plan for both of them or whatever. But it makes no fucking sense why he would not just have killed them because all the information that they've gathered is because of him, really. Not because of the work that the other dudes did. It's because of stuff that he figured out. And like case in point, right here, the only reason why they figured out where the funeral is gonna be taking place is because he's the one who got the information from a little girl. Anyway, so you add all these things up, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are what you call passive protagonists. Things just happen around them and they just follow along. They're it's not exactly, they're the attack dogs. They're not the leaders. Whenever somebody else puts them into action, they'll get into action. And it's really annoying when the show's called literally Falcon the Winter Soldier. You expect them to be the main characters. You expect them to be, you know what? That's why you didn't get the fucking shield. That's why you didn't get to be Captain America, even though they kind of offered it to you and you refused it. Because you were not the guy. Because you're the guy who follows the guy. Now, hopefully, what this shows at the end, this show shows you how they each become the guy. I haven't seen it so far, and it's annoying. So far, this is the Baron Zemo show. Anyway, moving on. So Captain America's like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do, and everybody's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because Falcon wants to talk to the girl for some reason. Now, listen. I don't know why they do this whole thing of let's reason with the bad guy. Okay, sure. Reasoning with them before they killed people, I kind of get it. Because maybe we can find some way to an agreement or whatever. After they killed people, it's kind of hard. Pardons get kind of difficult. Bucky was very lucky. It gets kind of difficult to get a pardon after you killed people. Anyway, let's move on. So, Falcon manages to convince them, like, hey, I'm going to talk to her for a little bit. And so finally somebody does something smart here, and that's, I fucked up, damn it, stupid player. All right, and that's Captain America puts some handcuffs on Baron Zemo, which, again, finally somebody does something, and he's like, you got 10 minutes to go talk to the girl. And so Falcon goes to the funeral, and we see Carly give a speech for Donna, and honestly, it's a crappy speech. It's not inspiring. It's not showing you anything. It just shows you like, why the fuck are we listening? Like, honestly, why are we listening to this chick? She clearly doesn't have a plan, and what she's saying is stupid, and the plan doesn't make any sense, and we could have made a buttload of money already, but why the fuck are we following her? I don't know. Can any Bueller? Anybody? Anyway, so the funeral clears out and it like strangely quickly, and Carly's left there to talk with the Winter Soldier. No, I'm sorry, with the Falcon. And so Falcon's basically like, hey, you know, that he's trying to logic her into giving up, which let's just say she's tempted. I don't know why, but she's tempted because the arguments were really that great. Anyway, while this is happening, the Winter Soldier and Captain America kind of get into an argument, and Captain America basically is like, you feel like, because Captain America wants to go into the action, and Winter Soldier's like, hey, Falcon still has like a few more minutes left. Captain America's like, what, you think you're like a tough guy because you have all that super soldier serum running into your veins? And so from that point on, you're like, yeah, they're setting up that stuff, which, by the way, this could have been done way better, and I'll save it for when it actually happens. But moving on, Falcon looks like he's about to convince her. Then all of a sudden, Captain America barges in, and he's like, "You're under arrest." And Carly's like, "Ah, I knew it. You were tricking me, and I trusted you, random citizen." And so they get in a fight. So Carly starts running, and again, obviously, she gets away from Falcon the Winter Soldier because again, these dudes fail at everything. They just fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. And as she's running away, she kind of shoots her right in the belly. And then I want you to see this pause. Like, he shoots her, done, contact. And that's immediate because, you know, it's a fucking bullet. And I want you to see it count. That's when he lets out the second shot. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm face to face against Super Soldier and I hit her in my first shot, I would have emptied that clip so fucking fast. And like, da, 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 da. You double tap. Anyway, the point is, he shoots her, she starts running away, and she hides behind this table. And because, by the way, bullets could have gone through that table, and somehow the fanny pack that she had under her shirt with the super soldier serum falls out. I don't know how. Like, honestly, for the life of me, I cannot explain how this thing fell out. But anyway, it fell out on the other side of the table. So Baron Zemo sees all this stupid formula, and he's like, the serum, this is the thing that I hate. So I need you to understand the logistics here. The girl knocked down a table, and she's behind the table, so she's right behind like just one piece of wood, and immediately on the other side of the table is the super soldier serum that fell out of her fanny pack or whatever. And Baron Zemo, instead of just literally taking one step to the side and ending the problem in the room, you know, the super soldier in the room, you know, the leader of all the bad guys, instead of just, you know, capping her ass, who again, super soldiers he hates, the dude decides to stop, you know, Carly decides to run away. Now, boom, okay. Falcon and the Winter Soldier walk into the room. Where do they walk in through? They walk in through the door that Carly went out. Okay? So, the door that she used to get away through, they came in. They never bumped into each other. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. The chick somebody shot her in the stomach. So she's bleeding. The stomach wounds tend to bleed a lot. They couldn't follow the blood. They didn't see a trail of blood. First off, they didn't bump into each other, and they were just seconds apart from being in the same spot. Then they didn't follow the trail of blood. Again, failure after failure after failure. The only one who actually did something useful here was Zemo, because Zemo at least got rid of all the super soldier serum. Next, so the chick is like, oh well, we're in trouble because the power broker is like, well, we're gonna kill you because you took all our serum. And she's like, well, I mean, you should have wanted to kill us anyway before. The point is, she's upset because they're failing or whatever. So, gosh, she's so stupid and so boring. I don't know why they follow her. Anyway, so Zemo, his head hurts because he got hit by the shield in the head. And here, again, we got another really, really stupid scene. So Captain America shows up. She's upset. And they're like, all right, we're going to arrest Baron Zemo because that dude should be in jail. And then, very, very correctly, Bucky points out, are you kidding me? This guy's the only guy who's done anything useful so far. We've been failing left and right, which is, again, true, fair. And so they start having this argument as to whether or not they should be. And out of nowhere, one of the soldiers from Wakanda, one of the elite soldiers from Wakanda, throws a spear right between the two of them, and basically kind of like to signify to end the fight. And so two of the other guards from Wakanda show up, and they're like, all right, we're here to kill Zemo. Now, this basically leads to a big confrontation and to a big fight as to whether or not they can actually, as they have the rights or whatever to have jurisdiction there or not, or all that stuff. So honestly, it's something that exasperates me. It really does. You know how you could have avoided this whole conversation and this whole debate or whatever? You could have just thrown that spear directly at Zemo. Like, you sneaked into the room. Nobody knew you were there. You could have just very easily killed them. In fact, they might not even have noticed. They could have just done it and walked out. No debate, no conversation, no nada. But instead, you got into this big fight. The big fight happens. Everybody's ignoring Zemo, and Zemo gets away. And once again, what's the theme of the show? Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Captain America now always get their asses kicked. Now, why did they get their asses kicked by these? So supposedly, two of the elite soldiers from America get their asses kicked by elite soldiers from Wakanda. All right, fine. But the Winter Soldier, super soldier, also getting his ass kicked? Like, how pathetic can you be? Seriously, you want to know why you don't have your own show, and you want to know why it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier? It's because you're getting your ass kicked by everybody. All right, it's pathetic. It's pathetic at this point. Failure after failure after failure after failure after failure after failure after failure. And also, again, our boy Zemo gets away because he's the one smart person in this. Again, they're in his house. You think he didn't have an escape route? The dude could have gone whenever he wanted. The dude could have he could have poisoned you. The only reason why you're still alive is because he's allowing it for reasons that I don't really understand. But whatever. Let's move on. So, Captain America is really upset because but they were just normal humans and they beat us. And so, listen, they've really messed up how they handled the whole thing with Captain America. And I'll get into it in a minute because he has a conversation with Battlestar a little bit. And so, here's the conversation. So, basically, Captain America is wondering, talking to Battlestar, like, dude, should I, if you had the super soldier serum, would you take it or whatever? And honestly, the way that I would have handled that would have been so different. They fucked up every single thing with this character. They should have made it more original, like they originally wanted to use Captain America. Like, dude, you're not gonna be on the field. You're just the frontman. You're just a poster guy. And after he's been failing, because again, he's facing super soldiers. Like, this dude is used to success. He's used to winning. He's used to, helping out humans. Now he's up against super soldiers. He should have seen that, like the weight of that. The weight of going against superhumans, and he's just a normal guy. And he falls to the temptation of having to need it. And imagine the PR people from the army being like, are you fucking kidding me? You're not going to be on the front line. You're just a normal dude. You're making us look bad. Get the fuck back here. And he would have been like, no, I want to be in the front lines. I'm not just the face for something. I want to do something. So I would have handled that way differently, and it would have made him a little bit more relatable. But they fucked up because they've been fucking up this entire show. Anyway, moving on. Fucking show. Anyway, then Carly, for some reason, well, not for some reason, Carly calls up the Falcon's sister and basically says, like, hey, I need you to tell your brother to meet me in this particular place to have a conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you. And so that's always a good way to start a conversation with somebody. So so she calls the Falcon, and Falcon's like, all right, I'll meet her there. In the meantime, run away with the kids, because a fucking super soldier terrorist in Turkey threaten you. Yeah, like, I'm sure a super soldier terrorist from fucking, I think she's from England, who's currently in Turkey, is gonna find a way to fly all the way to Louisiana without being noticed by anybody. I mean, she's, whatever. Let's say better safe than sorry, sure. And so the Falcon's like, right, I'll help you out. So they meet up with Carly, and they discover, no, this is just a distraction. They're trying to kill Captain America. And the reason why they know this is because Captain America is being followed by satellite via Agent 13. Again, other people being useful except Falcon the Winter Soldier. So they try to head out there, and wow, I fucked up again, didn't I? Damn it, stupid player, I hate it. So they fucked up again. And so they get into this middle of this fight, and Captain America's trying to infiltrate this building, and Battlestar gets taken, and basically he's taken prisoner. And here we discover that Captain America's in the middle of this fight, and here pretty much we discover that he's taking the super soldier serum. So this fight's going on. So yeah, at this point, Captain America's taking the super soldier serum. Battlestar manages to escape, and big fight ensues. Now, for some reason, these dudes only use knives. Like, the Flag Smashers only have knives. I don't know why. I mean, what's okay, listen. A super soldier is deadly. Super soldier with a knife, super deadly. A super soldier with a gun, I would say mega deadly, but for some reason they keep using knives. I guess they want to make it easier for the other guys. Anyway, so this fight goes on, and it's kind of like a fun interaction, except for at some point, like literally at one point, there's a dude with a knife who just hugs Bucky. And it's like, if you would have just turned that a little, you could have just shanked the guy. But whatever. I mean, man, it's important to say that the Flag Smashers, not really elite soldiers here. They're just kind of normal dudes, I guess. And the dude was hugging Bucky with the knife. Never stabbed him. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So the fight's going on. And Captain America, like, you motherfucker, punches him right in the chest. He hits a wall. He hits a pillar, and he may or may not be dead. I think he's dead. I don't know. Like, this makes no fucking sense. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we heard these dudes saying that they want to kill Captain America, right? So they went in there with the intention to kill. It's just that they killed the wrong guy, and now they feel bad. I mean, also, they have a perfect chance to get him there. It's not like they killed the kid. It's like, I'm an assassin. I'm going to kill somebody. I killed somebody else. You were already there with the mindset of killing. I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense. But again, same thing. Bucky and Falcon failed. And so Captain America gets pissed, starts chasing after Carly. Doesn't beats him out, beats the hell out of them, and kills him in the middle of a square. Carly walks away, because Carly sees this, and she just walks away, and people are like, oh, shit. And Bucky and Falcon are like, oh, shit, he just killed somebody. And that's how the episode ends. So, yeah, I know. There was a whole lot of hot garbage there, and it was terrible. And like I said, a whole bunch of wasted opportunities. Nothing makes sense. Too much retconning. And again, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, just two walking, talking failures who get their asses kicked always, who failed at every single mission that they've had throughout the entire show. The only useful ones have been Agent 13 and Baron Zemo, who are the ones that actually do useful stuff. This show fucking sucks, man. But I'm actually starting to enjoy, criticizing it, because now it's at the point where it's like I actually can make fun of it. And let's see, I get to hear the chat. Lewis Carey, you're wrong, you piece of shit. Why am I wrong? Exactly. What was I wrong in? What did I miss? Because I don't think I did. I think it'd make perfect sense. I mean, let me see. You choose violence. Ria, who chooses violence? I'm very confused, chat. Explain. He's talking to somebody else in the chat. I don't know. I'm confused. The point is, they had a great opportunity of doing something. I thought that it was going to be closer to the movie Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Kind of like spy stuff, kind of like an action movie. Like kind of like what else? John. Okay, got it. John Walker's Legend. John Walker, they've not used them well. They had an opportunity to use them, and it just hasn't made any sense. The way that they explained that the way that they broke him really doesn't make much sense. Or it could have been done better. Let's see. They actually could have shown him had a few successes. They could have been showing him again that they just want to use him as a PR stunt. They could have used them in many and more ways, that it wasn't just like on a dime. It was like, all right, I'm a bad guy now. It didn't really make. Okay. I think I'm trying to see. I don't really have an issue with John Walker killing a terrorist. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's a eye for an eye, I guess, and so whatever. But it's why don't I write down my own version and pitch it to Disney? Because they do it here. It's way easier. It's way more fun too. Um, and I don't know. They don't listen to me. Like, cause I have applied for stuff there. They just don't listen to me. So, and as long as they don't, I'm just gonna keep criticizing stuff. Let me see. What was they talking about? Yeah, John. So they introduced him as this dude who doesn't want, was not sure if he's worthy of being Captain America, and then he's really nice and he's really capable, and his friends believe in him. And then all of a sudden, at the end of that same episode, he's like, you know what? Get the fuck out of my way. So they turn him on a dime for no real reason. And then he starts becoming more angry, more violent for really no reason other than he lost that, he kind of got his ass kicked by super soldiers, which is a fair argument, and which is why you would want to team up with the Winter Soldier, and they keep rejecting him. So him flat out saying, yeah, go fuck yourself. And then, what else? And so then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets access to the super soldier formula. So, we discovered that he's envious of the super soldier stuff, but they didn't really do that well. They should have set it up from the moment that he got his ass kicked, from the moment that he realized, like, oh shit, that's what it's like to fight against a super soldier. We're out of our leagues. Falcon, you've been doing that by yourself this whole time. That's freaking nuts. Like, how do we compete? How does one man stand against such reckless hate? How do you freaking do it? It doesn't make it makes sense, but they should have set it up, and it wasn't set up at all. You think that him saying like, "Oh, you think you're tough with all that super soldier, with all that serum running through your veins?" That's not a setup, especially if it happens in the same episode. It should have been built up. It should have been built up through failure. It should have been built up through the pressures of the publicity people or the government saying like, "Get the fuck out of there." You first off, you're making us look bad because you keep getting your ass kicked. Second, you were only supposed to be the publicity guy. You were not actually supposed to be out there doing stuff. I know that you're a soldier. I know that you're a Medal of Honor winner, but you're not that anymore, because you know what? You're not good enough. You know why? Because you're facing against fucking super soldiers. So all that failure should have mounted up. All that pressure should have actually started breaking him to the point where he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take it. And it should have been set up that taking it actually meant a bad thing. So it's annoying. It's annoying. Let me see. Do all lives matter? Because you seem racist because you don't like Sam Wilson. I don't like Sam Wilson because he's boring. All right, that's the issue. He's been getting his ass kicked the entire show. He's been failing honestly, since we met Sam Wilson, he's been getting his ass kicked. Like, literally, they've used him as a joke multiple times. In the Ant-Man movie, he gets his ass kicked by Ant-Man, who was a rookie back then. Like, he was barely just getting started. So this show begins, and he gets his ass kicked by the French dude, and barely accomplishes his mission, but he does it. But he gets his ass kicked by the French dude. He couldn't even take down a nameless goon. Episode 2, he gets his ass kicked by all the flag smashers. Episode 3, he gets they fail at the magical stuff, and they get their asses handed to them. The only reason why they didn't die in the dock thing is because Baron Zemo was there. And now, again, they get his ass kicked by the Wakandans. They get their asses kicked by the flag smashers. They've been failing. That's why I'm annoyed. And we're following them around, and they think that they're the ones that are doing the right thing when they're the ones that keep failing. It's really annoying. They're not good protagonists. They're B characters. They're sideline characters. They're the bench warmers. And I have the exact same issue with Winter Soldier, by the way. It's not just Sam Wilson. That's my issue with them. Anyway, thoughts on Falcon becoming Cap? Falcon, it's weird because the title of Captain America, I guess, if you're handing down, it's weird. Who is Captain America really? Who controls that title? Who has the right to give it up? Is it Steve Rogers? Is it the government? Who actually has the right to it? Now, unfortunately here, it wasn't really a debate because let's say you think Steve Rogers should have chosen Captain America, or you think the government should have chosen Captain America. It's not really a debate because both of them agreed. Both Steve Rogers and the government said, hey, it should be Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson's the one that said no. My thoughts on him being Captain America, I think he could have done like the same job, that John Walker was doing. I think he would have. Changing the wings for the shield would not have changed much. He still would have kept failing, and that's the issue. The issue is not the weapon that he's using. The issue is not what he's symbolizing. The issue is that they keep making a character who's a failure. All right, and there's ways of failing that are interesting, that they're progressing. If you would have put Sam Wilson or the Falcon as the dude who keeps failing against super soldiers, the unsurmountable obstacle, and actually put the pressure, and actually him suffering with the internal debate of, should I take the super soldier serum? Can I compete? Am I good enough? Not just for the shield or what it represents. Am I good enough to stand toe to toe with, or to be worthy of the shield that the greatest soldier in history ever wielded? Am I on par to that? Or am I just going to be an embarrassment because I'm a normal dude? Am I worthy of it? If that would have been the debate, it could have been fun. It actually would be a fun show to watch, but they're not handling it that way. That's the issue. That's the problem. Do I prefer WandaVision? I thought WandaVision was better so far. It was really slow, and I had issues with the ending, but at least it was building up to something. Sudden69, how would you know that about his purpose? How do I know about this purpose? I don't know. I'm just speculating. Most of the things was just speculation. It might turn out that in the next episode, things start making sense. And if things start making sense, like, all right, okay, and I'll be the first one to be like, maybe I was wrong. But usually that's not how it happens. They do a lot of retconning in the MCU, and it's really annoying. And I've broken down all the retcon. It sucks. You're like a woman. Opinions don't matter. Actually, I guess it depends. Opinions could matter to you or not. I care about my opinions, and I care about other people's opinions. Depends. I care about women's opinions. I don't know what's up with you, Lewis Carey, but all right. Why is it wrong with failure? They're building up for the last episode, not like they can win every fight. All right. Your takes are fucked up. Get a life, lol. Lewis Carey, don't be mean. Okay. So, I agree. There's ways of failing. And there's ways of failing where you're actually building up to something in a story. You're learning something, or it's called, there's Pyrrhic victories. There's different ways of handling it where the audience isn't just like, this dumbass is getting his ass kicked again. Or because, again, you got to be learning something, or you've got to be developing the character. So far, they're not developing the character with the failures. All right? He's not progressing. He's not learning anything. Nothing's advancing. He's not even questioning of whether or not he should be there because he keeps getting his ass kicked. He's not questioning if he's even on par with everybody else. It's just, he got his ass kicked again. Oh, he failed on this mission again, but I'm going to go on the next one because I'm just going to keep going. They're not doing anything with the failure. And that's really annoying to watch because it's not really going to go anywhere, because guess what? In the final episode, he's going to win. All right? In the final episode, they're going to be successful. Why? I don't know. Did they train more? I don't know. Did they actually learn anything from their past failures? I don't know. Is it going to be that maybe they just gathered more allies and the allies ended up doing everything for them? Probably. That's why it's annoying. Did you ever watch Daredevil? Daredevil gets his ass kicked constantly in the final season, but it's every single one of the times that he gets his ass kicked in the third season by Bullseye, he gets a little bit better. He starts learning how to deal with these people. He starts learning how to deal with himself. He starts questioning, is my rule of not killing people good or bad? Should I change my ways or should I not? He starts like, should I take better care of myself? No, I got to keep fighting. You're building up stuff. You're building from the failure. Here, they're not doing it. Or at least they haven't done it so far. And that's what's annoying. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm done. And I got to go back to work. So, as always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. This week, I'm going to be doing 2 p.m. Usually I do something, I do 8 p.m., but this week I'm trying out something new, 2 p.m. So if you want to join me, there you go. Chat, thank you for joining me. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Sutton. Thank you, Joseph, Tipper, Ryan. I don't know. All those who joined up. Interesting stuff. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.